Restoration Angel, no question. But if your deck's set up against Restoration Angel anyway, you might, in particular, I like Garruk as a sideboard card, which is, like, for instance, if you're playing blue-black control, splashing Thragtusk and Crushing Vine, Garruk out of the board, hell yeah.
Well, I mean, there's so many decks where you get to actually hit their creature and then have this terrible thing in play that they can't deal with.
Yep.
And we have one in for the Vampire, and that's it. Doomblade has done the work of getting a Emissary out of the way, but Brian is not too sad about that. Grave Titan. Grave Titan versus one little Vampire.
Exciting to see Olivia Voldaren in the sideboard. Olivia, another...
You've had a love affair with Olivia.
I wouldn't call it a love affair so much as
a brief fling.
A brief fling. It's true love is what it is.
Unrequited true love?
No,
she has not loved you back?
Olivia has, dude, every single time. Now, eventually had to let her, love her from a distance.
Fair enough.
But it doesn't mean that.
Nighthawk is in the house. John Ozogar with Nighthawk.
Olivia Voldaren is a card whose power is proportionate inversely to how much removal people play. And right now, there's enough other creatures that a lot of people are just playing removal. And so it's just not, plus Celestial Purge being so in vogue,
Oh my goodness. That's a... Vault of the Archangel. There's two of them in his deck.
Yeah, Vault of the Archangel is another one of those action lands we talked about. Very strong.
The thing about Vault, the way that it messes with math is surprisingly powerful and relevant. I mean, even the fact of having like a little crappy creature be able to kill anything good is huge too. It's just a very good card.
Absolutely. If there's one thing I've learned, it's never mess with any. Never underestimate anybody who's willing to mess around with math.
And John.
Is he sending just the 2 zombies?
I think so.
It's interesting. The Vampire Nighthawk is successfully holding off Grave Titan here.
That Vampire is a damn good Vampire.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a reason why it was correlated with the most winning that you could possibly do in certain limited formats.
You mean ones that it's ever been in?
Yes. Well, I don't know about the correlations in M13 yet. Okay. Looks like a captain over there. 1 2-year Nighthawk. Okay. Now remember, the Death Touch and the 1 does make this be a murdering of ability. One to your other Vampire.
Vault of the Archangel and Mortar Pod is a sick little number.
That is really gross, actually.
So what does John have to get out of this? Like, he's going to need, like... I mean, he has 1 go for the throat that could potentially hit the Grave Titan. And then he has Bonfire. He has 2 Bonfires to try to sweep the rest, right?
He has to get a go for the throat this turn. And then after that, he's still in trouble. That's not it. I think John Ozogar is about to be defeated by Brian Daviduk.
Still nice to see black-red zombies, or black-red vampires.
I know, vampires.
Do you think there's going to be any...
Somebody call Tim
hybrid?
Landale.
Is there going to be a hybrid between black-red vampires and... between vampires and zombies?
Honestly, I've been seeing a lot of decks that practically are hybrids already. They're clearly heavier on the zombie end, but,
The fact that they have Aristocrat and Blood Artist?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they might add Vampire Nighthawk. I mean, he is a good dude.
Nighthawk is such a good dude.
And Bloodline Keeper is no slouch.
Good.
I want to see... I want that the Nocturnus up in the house.
And we see Death Touch. Are we going to see some indestructible action? Boom. There we do.
Brian successfully demonstrating the power of touching things.
It's like he's in the movie Prometheus. Okay.
Yes.
In-
Look, it's something weird and scary. Why don't we touch it? Spoiler, I'm sorry. If any of you haven't seen Prometheus yet, there's a lot of touching. I apologize.
And John Ozogar falls to a very dangerously low life total. I don't think there's any card that he can actually draw to get out of this now.
Right, like part of his plan now has to be, God, what is his plan? Is it Bonfire? Hope that Brian forgets about Mortar Pod from here on out. Chump block the Grave Titan. Hope that he also misses the lapse trigger on making the zombies. Draw go for the throw.
There you go.
And that's the match.
That's the match. And Brian Daviduk with a junk list. This definitely feels to me very junk-like, primarily because, yes, it has a birthing pod, but it looks to be basically a bunch of good stuff, a slightly aggressive tinge, but basically a mid-range deck in between. Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
In my day, junk decks had discard.
There were 4 duress.
Junk decks had removal.
There's Doomblade.
Junk decks had Wumpuses.
They graduated past Wumpuses eventually. I think one tournament. Moved to Negators.
Hunted Wumpus is like the 4 casting costs Primeval Titan. It's like...
What's the worst that could happen? Morphling? Who cares? Oh, that's awesome. And we're going to be going over to an interview with Ruben Bressler.
Going to the sideboard.
See what he's got for us.
Shuffle all 15 in. They can't know.
That's
they can't
right.
know.
Back to you.
Hi, I'm Ruben Bressler, and I'm here in the sideboard with Bill Bolden, otherwise known as The Gathering. Why don't you tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Bill Bolden, The Gathering, and last year the first Magic the Gathering rap album came out. It's a collaboration between me and Patrick Chapin, who just made it into the Hall of Fame or something. And
Or something, sure.
It's just been a